Hey guys and gals, welcome back to Umineko. My name is Eclepid and I'm here with Matt.
Hey there.
It's been a while, busy past 2 weeks, but we're back on track now and we should have quite a bit out. When we last left off, we were with George and Jessica, we were with Shannon and Kanon at the beach, talking about without love it cannot be seen.
Torice was there. They were having a little tea party. It was a good time.
Oh yeah. So now, let us eat, drink, and be merry.
Indeed.
I am Jessica, and I am from Russia. Anyways, let's get right into it.
Where's the vodka?
The vodka?
Comrade!
I'm going to actually turn down our recording volume a little bit, because we're spiking.
Yeah, we're a little in the red there.
Alright. We're not spiking now. Ha ha ha.
Alright, let's do it.
The biggest event for the Shirome family was in fall. It was the family conference in October. But for Jessica, there was another one before that, the School Cultural Festival.
That's like an amalgamation of like every European accent ever. I can't tell what that is.
It's an amalgamation, that is what it is. Jessica liked school. To her, it was a place where she could let out the stress she'd built up during the rigid lifestyle she was forced to lead at home. For the cultural festival today, she had formed a group with her friends, and would be performing casual pop rock on a temporary stage. She kept on preparing, practicing for that, and was really looking forward to today, but there was one thing that had been worrying her.
Is this Kanon?
She looked at the clock. There was still a little time, but she was uneasy. Would he really come? As she was about to breathe out a stress-relieving sigh, her heart jumped as all of her friends started speaking in shrill voices.
Rincha.
It's not necessarily the case that all girls are like this, but at Jessica's school at least, the cultural festival was really a boyfriend exhibition. Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. Poor Jessica. She had many friends of the opposite sex, but no special one. But Jessica was a little famous around the school, and everyone naturally expected that she had a fitting partner. Furthermore, her pride had caused her to act like this was the case. Jessica. In Russia!
Poor girl.
Through such acting and dodging of questions, she had somehow managed to keep up the bluff until this year. But for various reasons, she hadn't been able to escape this year's cultural festival.
Jessie.
One of the two, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
One of those is probably right. Hey! Leave Jessica alone!
The poor girl.
That face.
Not suspicious at all. Totally.
Jessica laughed awkwardly, covered with a cold sweat. It was extremely doubtful whether she had actually deceived her sharp-witted friends.
I don't think she has. Making a fake boyfriend.
Shannon's ridiculous plan surprised Jessica wildly. Even so, it was a little more realistic than an unrealistic method running through her head of getting a boyfriend in a huge hurry before the day of the cultural festival.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
もちろん予定表も確認済みです。カノン君はその日お休みになっています。 時ばっかり容量がいいんだじゃなくて休みならもっと悪いぜせっかくの
Shannon the Wingman.
私の
Seriously?
引っ張り出せないカノン君は引っ張り出されないといっつも閉じこもってばかりいますので無理に引っ張り回すくらいでちょうどいいかと思いますそうなのいやでもカノン君に悪い
It always reminds me of those, the air through those, things in SpongeBob.
Yeah.
The, like, Moai statues.
I lost it. What the heck?
Why don't we keep going with the story?
Alright, whenever a big moment happens, I'm gonna do that.
なら晩作つきますねおとなしく彼氏はいませんと白状なされてはいかがでしょうかそれは肩身の狭い思いをなされるでしょうが
She could never bring herself to
卒
do
業
that,
ま
could
で
she?
の短くも長い間を耐え忍ばれるだけで
You're really, you're really getting a kick out of that.
愛し合う恋人同士にとって独り者のひなみ顔が何にも勝る甘いやつなのです
What's with that star at the end there?
Star!
シャノ
シャノ
私のために本気で悩んでないでしょおちょくってるでしょ
Jessica wrestled about with Shannon, her eyes teary, but Shannon was unconcerned, laughing with her usual smile.
はい私とジョージ様のことを茶化してばかりのお嬢様の仕返しで
At
At
least
that
she's
comeback of
honest.
Shannon's, the likes of which didn't happen once a year, Jessica rolled around on her bed, hugging her cushion, writhing and suffering. Like that, pretty much. Shannon's triumphant smile. Oh! Shannon's triumphant smile is unbearably... Can you picture Kinzo with a pillow just lying around on his... rolling around in circles on his floor? Oh!
I'm imagining the classic, like, slice of life thing where a girl, like, gets a good text from the person she likes and she's, like, clutching her pillow and, like, kicking her feet on
Yeah.
the bed and squealing.
Yeah.
But it's Kinzo. And that's kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But right now she was the only person Jessica could talk with. She could wait until later to suffocate her with a cushion.
いいじゃないですかお嬢様文化祭ではありますがカノン君と一緒に遊びに行くチャンスですよいやそれはそうだけどいや
Yo. Jessica buried her head in her favorite cushion to hide the fact that her face had grown bright red. And she bit away at her thumbnail. It really was a reaction to be appreciated. Shannon and Jessica were about the same age of the same sex, and they were also friends, and they were both right in the middle of puberty. They could never talk enough about things related to love. That's why they were able to be open with each other about these topics. So Jessica had heard in detail about how Shannon's and George's love was progressing, and on the other side, Shannon had heard the details of what type Jessica liked and what kind of man she might be interested in. Judging by Jessica's reactions, it would probably be crude to talk about that in that detail. Wait, isn't George 23 and isn't Shannon 16?
I thought she was 18.
Oh, she's 18?
I think so.
Still a 5-year difference.
Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty big difference.
If you were 16, would you like an 11-year-old? I think that would be weird.
No, but that's the thing, though. As you get older, I'm not like condoning this kind of thing. It's not necessarily bad, but what I'm saying is, as you get older, age difference matters less because you mature more in your formative years than you do, like from say 20 to 30. Like you matured. I don't know if. Do you know what I mean though?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
This is what happens when I drink this. I know what you mean though. But we won't get anywhere with Jessica just rolling around in the bed forever, so to be blunt, Jessica had been thinking about Kanon ever since he had first appeared. There were almost no young men on Merkenjima, so it was maybe natural that Jessica, as a girl in puberty, had become interested in Kanon. But if anyone said that, it would destroy the romance of a maiden's pure heart and a love at first sight. Shannon had been with Kanon the whole time at the Welfare Institute, so she had known him from before they had started working. So Jessica had asked persistently about what kind of person he was, what his hobbies were, and what his favorite foods were, what type of girl he liked. Even Shannon could clearly tell that Jessica was infatuated with Kanon.
もうカノン君をデートに連れ出せる
I highly doubt that Kanon has someone that he likes. He's on Rokenjima. Like, there's no one else.
Psst, it's Ava.
Oh god. Oh.
Actually, it's Shannon.
But they have a brother oh wait. I'm sorry. It's Japan.
Imoto?
Oh my god. It's too much. Oh, bitch.
I was gonna go with skank. No. Tsundere.
She's a tsundere.
Sundora. Is that the same thing?
I would think so.
Grimoire, Sundora. Oh, blue and green. Oh, we already did that.
Yeah.
Sundora, is the word tundra converted into the Japanese sound system. It's used as a pun in reference to the term tsundere. Yes, we know what tsundere is. Sun and dere. Aloof for cranky and love-struck. Yes.
Except tsunderes nowadays are so much different from like when they started, and they're much worse. Because I feel like in anime, people create characters around the archetype rather than having it as like an actual part of the
Shout out to the real tsundere, to the OG tsundere, Kyo.
Shout out to Asuka from Evangelion. That's a real tsundere right there.
I haven't seen Evangelion. I gotta see it.
You absolutely have to. It's very...
I don't want my brain to melt though, so...
It's not gonna melt. It's kind of a mindfuck. At least the movie end of Evangelion is a mindfuck, but the show itself does a really good job of mixing like psychoanalytical stuff with action and like plot progression.
Is that something you recommend I watch over break?
Yeah, I mean if you can. It's not like legally streaming anywhere because
I don't legally stream things.
So yeah, you'll be able to find it. I also have a DVD version of it if you want me to like lend that to you.
Is that? Do you recommend anything else over that to watch?
Over Evangelion?
Yeah.
That you haven't seen?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of things that you haven't seen.
Hey guys, sorry, this was all just a facade. This is the actual episode title is Matt and John's anime recommendations.
We're gonna post this on the subreddit.
We will. If you think of anything, let me know.
If you guys have any suggestions in the comments, go ahead and post them.
Yes.
We're always on the lookout for new shows.
We are. The lights are flickering when I do that.
Yeah. Controller's going crazy.
Ultimately, Jessica wasted several days before finally agreeing to the plan of having Kanon pretend to be her boyfriend. Pretend. Pretend.
She wants it to be more than just pretend. We all know it.
Yes. Okay. I'll be your boyfriend. Jessica realized that she had called him at a bad time and immediately regretted it. Kanon always had a sour look, but even so, he had some good days and some bad days. Unfortunately, this reaction was the latter. All that confidence and effort she had amassed by practicing in front of the mirror all night was wiped out in about 5 seconds. Jessica turned bright red and hung her head. Watching her, Kanon sighed. Jessica thought he was getting fed up with her and her face went pale. Fake news.
This feels so weird going to like slice of life after everything we just experienced at the end of episode 1. You know?
Slice of life? More like stab of life.
Fair enough.
Jessica kept yelling with a strange voice, a broken smile, and steam pouring from her head as if she were a boiler. Shout out to Kinzo.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
As Kanon watches, he sighed again. Kanon wasn't an idiot either, are we sure?
I mean,
he fully understood what Jessica intended by inviting him. However, in truth, he found it nothing but bothersome to go along with the lady's game of love. But Shannon had spoken to him persistently about it. He was very indebted to her for many things he couldn't refuse. And in his pocket was that brooch. Couldn't this strange turn of events also have been brought about by the magic of power residing in this brooch? Ridiculous. Preposterous. But those words of Shannon came to mind. What did Shannon see that I cannot? I didn't understand Shannon's feelings. We are furniture. As if we could become something more than that. Jessica still rambling on in a strange voice, and Kanon sighing deeply were a truly odd combination.
I ship it.
I ship George and Jessica.
Really?
No.
It wouldn't be out of the question for anime. I'll say that.
As my friends all gathered together, they were looking this way with hard-to-describe expressions, whispering to each other in low voices that couldn't be called low, even if I felt kind of shameless. Did I just say, sorry, who? Like I don't know who showed up? Ah, crap, 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 my mind is blank!
Blank! What the?
Kanajo.
Look at that's like a. What is that? A trench coat or like a?
Kanon bows. Watashi no Kanajo.
What is that?
My girlfriend.
Everyone is freaking the fuck out.
昇降口がわからなかったもので遅くなって申し訳ございません。いや、その格好も似合ってるぜ。
It does. His hair looks different too.
Does it?
A little.
Well, he's not wearing the
Yeah, he's
servant
not wearing the
hat.
hat.
シャノンが普段着では良くないと言って先日一緒に買い物似合いませんでしたでしょうか。そんなことないよ。シャノン後で2階級特進。なんだかここは女の人ばかりで居心地が悪いです。だよねだよね。さあここじゃなくてステージの方に行こうぜ。もうすぐ私たちの出番だからさ。さ。
It seemed that Jessica was just as uncomfortable. It looked like she was finding it difficult to cope with while bathed in everyone's interested gaze. When he saw Jessica's appearance, Kanon thought he might have made things difficult for her by coming.
なんだか迷惑をおかけしているような気がします。お邪魔だったでしょうか。そんなことないって。僕がお邪魔でしたらいつでも言ってくだされば。
That is a lot. You know what's interesting? I actually, it's really neat that there's like different ways to say I in Japanese. Like
Yeah.
watashi is like more feminine, right?
Well, it's
And then
neutral.
ore.
Watashi is neutral.
Oh, it is?
It's neutral.
Okay.
If boku is what guys sometimes refer to themselves as in more of a personal setting,
Okay.
and ore is what tough guys use.
Like a very masculine.
Very, very masculine.
Okay.
It's kind of comes off as offensive to a lot of people.
Really?
If you were to use it in a formal situation, people would be shocked and appalled.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
There are a few more, but I digress.
That's cool.
僕はどうしていればいいでしょうか、お嬢様。
Ojo-sama.
Oh no, they're gonna.
Kicker? OMG. Oh.
That's a new one. Voice actors must have had a lot of fun recording these lines.
Call me Onesan.
Oh god.
そうですか。わかりました。ジェシカ様。
Oh.
ごめん、カノン君。3秒でいいから目つぶっててくれるか。
The world is exploding.
では。
What is going on?
When Kanon opened his eyes, for some reason there was a horrible tragedy in the room. Everyone had been drumming into the walls, their arms and legs outstretched. Jessica put her breast knuckles in her pocket before Kanon opened his eyes.
Oh my god, what? Did she just punch everyone?
She couldn't let them alive after they saw that.
Understandable.
Subarashi! Kanon seems to be having a hard time adjusting, pushing him in the back. Jessica sent him out in the corridor. Even though Kanon was confused by Jessica's attitude and show of agitation, which he had never seen before, he followed her instructions and headed in the direction she had indicated. After seeing him off with an awkward smile, Jessica slammed the door shut and yelled loudly.
Oh, there was a bet on whether she actually had a boyfriend or not.
What the fuck? You might have hit the nail on the.
Yeah.
They had it a little too hard there. They or should I say the horn on the unicorn?
Oh. That's a lot, man.
Someone commented just recently saying, "Oh shit, I just realized why you call this episode Hideyoshi the Unicorn."
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Udasai!
What's the haiku? Haiku?
That's hurry.
Hurry, yeah.
Or quickly. Jessica took the brass knuckles out of her pocket again, and everyone energetically returned to their tasks.
She's a brawler.
Are you ready for this? Kanon went down in the corridor as Jessica told him to, and found a temporary stage set up where the vending machine should have been. It probably was being shared in time slots between the individual groups at clubs. The student group was singing and the place was already fired up. Disliking the ruckus, he found a dark wall to lean against alone. So this is what they call high school. It sure is noisy, Kanon thought. And then he remembered Jessica just now acting in a way that he'd never seen before. Honestly, she was in such high spirits that alcohol might have been involved. To him, the greatest virtue for a person was to always be composed and intellectual.
Amen, brother.
Sorry. I can't get it.
Get yourself under control, man.
In that sense, it was very hard for him to get used to the atmosphere in a school culture festival. By the way, this is this scene is probably in my top 10 favorite scenes of the novel. This is a good scene.
Really?
You'll see. He had the responsibility of reporting everything he saw or heard to the master, so he would have had to report Jessica's unrestrained behavior earlier. At the very least, it was not very fitting for a daughter of the Ushiromi main family. The master, Krauss-sama, and especially Natsuki-sama, would probably be angry. If I were to report it in a way that protects my lady, should I blame it on the inappropriate school friends? Kind of thought back on how Jessica had acted earlier and sighed again. Could understand Natsu's headache a little now. Come to think of it, Natsuki-sama, as the president of the PTA, should have gone straight to social after attending the ceremony in the gymnasium. Didn't we figure out the cause of Natsuki's headache? What was that?
Yeah, Bei Toriche is just like tapping her on the head.
That's right, that's
like
right.
Like 24/7.
Hadn't she said that she wouldn't be there to see my lady's event? It was probably for the best. Several female students kept glancing at me. It seemed that they were all whispering the same sort of things that my lady's school's friends had said, and it was really unpleasant. Come to think of it, didn't Shannon warn me that if I was going to walk around the school festival on my own, I'd better watch out because a lot of strange people would come and talk to me. Just as expected, a group of girls I'd never met started talking to me. I wish life was this easy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Their stares started to make my back tingle. Didn't she tell me some magic words that could chase them off in some times like this? Ah, it worked. Instant reaction. Well, I got them to go away, but it really hasn't changed the number of people staring at me. No way I'm ever coming to a place like this again, Ken sighed for about the 100th time that day.
Man, you gotta accept it. You gotta revel in it. Don't get angry at it.
Here it is! Here it is! As he did, the light game changed, and the standing audience started cheering. Looking around, I realized that there were suddenly a large number of people here, and unlike earlier, they were all guys. With this huge crowd, I couldn't even see the stage. Fortunately, there was a fallen beer case nearby, so I tried using that as a footstool.
Amen.
How is there a beer case in a high school?
That's a good question.
And I noticed there is now a new group on stage. Their leader is my lady! I'm doing my best Kurosawa impression.
If we had a face cam, y'all would get a face full of what the hell is going on. What is that costume?
She had changed into stage clothes and was even holding a guitar. A guitar.
Look at that.
Guitar.
Chita. La Chitata.
Guitar. Guitar.
Indeed.
Yui. From Kanon, right?
Oh, yeah.
Guitar.
Is that what she calls it?
Maybe.
Is that the word?
I think so. I didn't know she could play. No, maybe she could. I'd seen her practicing air guitar before. Natsui-sama wouldn't approve of any hobbies outside of study. Maybe she was always practicing in secret. Come to think of it, she's been returning really late from school recently, hasn't she? Aha! Maybe she's just been practicing at school far away from Natsui-sama's prying eyes. It really is for the best that Natsui-sama didn't come. If my lady were here to be scolded by Natsui-sama after putting so many hours of practicing, she'd probably be very dejected. I could hear Jessica-sama's forceful voice through the speakers. Jessie-sama? Maybe that's her nickname at school. The students in the audience kept yelling out that name. I was a little aggravated about that inferior name, which was inappropriate for my lady. Jessica-sama was in great spirits as they kept calling her Jessie-sama. They were all probably her fans. With her mic performance, she was responding to that and firing the place up. It was almost like a song program on TV. At first, I thought all this was frivolous, but that feeling now changed into appreciation. This was pretty incredible in its own way. Ken had never listened to music of his own free will, but he had often heard the kind of music that the people of the Ushiruma family liked. Since that was almost all classical music, Ken had naturally started liking classical music too. So to Ken, the songs Jessica and the others were singing were, how should I say it?
Different. Very
modern. And in case he thought if Natsui-sama had heard it, she probably would faint. Here it is! Oh, this is actually, this is
a thing. Wow.
I think this is a different song than originally when I first played the game.
Is it?
I'm playing. This is a different version. This is a PS3 version, and it's so different from the original.
From the original, right?
I like the song better, actually.
That's a jam.
It is a jam.
So this is an idol show now, right?
Well, it's a school concert.
Close enough.
But everyone looked like they were having a really good time. The diehard fans who even brought pen lights sang along, dancing crazily with the same exact movements, almost as though it had been planned ahead. I guess it is like an idol show.
Kind of.
On the stage, Jessica-sama also sang enthusiastically, dripping with sweat. He couldn't find a single element that was appropriate for a daughter of the Ushiruma family, but it looked like she was having a lot of fun. I couldn't keep up with the atmosphere, but anyway, my lady was full of life and looked like she was having a great time. As I looked at my lady having a great time, I thought, isn't this what Yushiromi Jessica's really like? Don't I know better than anyone just how badly life on Rukenjima kills your own sense of self? And the time she spends, not as my lady, the successor to the Yushiromi family, but as a single girl called Jessica, living life to the fullest must be very important to her. I worked close to my lady, saw her on all seasons, and I thought I knew everything about her. But that was only a single limited side of her, my lady of Rukenjima. We are furniture. We serve on Rukenjima and end our lives on Rukenjima. So I'd come to think that Rukenjima itself was her whole world, as though, just like in old geocentric theories, the ocean spilled off the end of the world into an abyss. But as I looked at my lady like this, I realized that this was a horribly narrow outlook. I still couldn't keep up with the excitement of the crowd. Well, I felt like I had something that cannot be seen on Rukenjima. Although I don't know if it was the unseeable thing Shannon was talking about. I still couldn't see the ocean as blue.
Could it be Kanon is developing feelings?
You know, maybe you're onto something. Possibly. You're onto something.
All we can do is wait and see.
今日はジェシカの学校の文化祭だったな。校長先生はお元気でおられたかね。
ええ、お元気なようでした。そうそう、高宮議員もおいでになっておりました。あなたによろしくと特に言っておりましたよ。
相変わらずご多忙そうかね。
そのようでした。あの方も精力的な方です。そうそう。あと榎本会長もおいででしたっけ。
Naturally, the topic of Jessica's cultural festival came up at dinner. School events often became social gatherings for influential people. It was the same for the Ushiromi family, who were big names around this area. As Natsumi remembered the names of the important people at the social, she updated Krause on the news concerning them. Jessica didn't really have any interest in that discussion and rudely slurped her pumpkin soup.
Hey, you got it that time.
There we go.
Jessica?
Jessica. I love it so much.
Jessica.
Jessica.
Jessica. Jessica answered discouraged. When he saw that, Krause smiled a little bit and interrupted his conversation with Natsushi.
I guess that's like southern, but also like a southern guy with like a lisp. Or not like a lisp, but like...
Jessica.
I'm just surprised that you can like combine all of these random things into voices.
You're
it's surprised?
cool. You're surprised I can combine these stuff into a bunch of different voices? I didn't know that.
See, that's more southern than the thing you were doing earlier.
It's a southern twang, you know.
But it's like also... I don't know, man.
You don't know what?
I don't know what you're doing.
You don't know what I'm doing?
No.
But I'm southern. I come from the south.
See, like, that's pretty good, but it's also, like, almost too twangy.
It's too twangy. Like. But
maybe a little bit.
But I talk like this. This is my real voice.
You're right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't judge you.
You shouldn't judge me. I'm just a southern boy. A pure southern heart boy.
Does the southern boy wanna keep going there?
Baby. Jessica's face turned bright red. She probably hadn't thought that Natsumi would actually come see her on the stage. She felt a mix of happiness and embarrassment.
Oh, she watched her perform?
Actually, she hadn't wanted her mother to watch because she didn't want to be told that her music was inappropriate for the Ushiromi family. But it wasn't as though it didn't make her happy to see her parents say that she did a good job after watching her try her best.
Amen, brother.
I don't think that's what she's talking about.
生徒代表にふさわしい振る舞いでしたよ。
Oh.
That smile that had been there a second ago crumbled like sand.
Let's say it.
Jessica immediately realized that she was talking about something different.
We're gonna offend our entire viewership from the South. If there is
Jessica
one.
was also the student school president. She had no interest in something so annoying, but her parents had been pushing, so she grudgingly had accepted. Unfortunately, she was popular in school, so she won the election easily. So Nancy was praising her for the ceremony organized by the student council at the beginning of the cultural festival. Actually, she had just carried out that half-heartedly. She had immediately met up with her friends and had a stage rehearsal for the rest of the time.
必ず将来役に立つ後ろ宮家の人間としてきっとジェシカを成熟させてくれるだろう。
ただ挨拶が少し早口でした。内容は及第点でしたが、早い口調はそれを薄れさせます。
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
一呼吸置く癖をつけるといいでしょう。
Okay.
Hi.
I hate this song. After she finished eating, Jessica didn't feel like going straight to her room. You could say that her room was the place where her parents had specified for her to be. So maybe you could say that for Jessica, choosing not to return to her own room and instead disappearing to an unknown location in this large mansion was a mere form of resistance.
Indeed.
Jessica felt that being even in the mansion made it hard to breathe, so she went outside to the rose garden. Oh no, the music stopped. That's not good.
That's never a good sign.
Oh no, it's back. Jessica laughed at what she was sulking over, laughed at what kind of words she would have had to receive to be satisfied. Ridiculous. In the end, I'm just a spoiled little kid. I can't believe myself. It's almost funny.
お嬢様。カノン君か。驚かすなよ。
Make out.
I don't
it.
think they're gonna make out. Kenna had started talking to her as shows she had tried to force a laugh, so she choked.
なんかよ。
Jessica's expression had become the one Kanon always saw. The listless Jessica from a second ago was gone. If he only knew still that Jessica was the successor to the Umineko family as he did until today, he would have mistakenly thought that Jessica's mood had sprung back to normal. But that was wrong. He now knew a part of her that he could not see until today, so he understood that there was no way on the inside Jessica was just as she appeared.
今日は文化祭だよ。私の家に付き合ってくれてありがとうな。助かったぜ。
お歌お上手でした。
そうかよ。
Question mark, exclamation mark? Even though she had heard the words that she most wanted to hear, Jessica became shy and couldn't accept them frankly.
僕には歌は歌います。楽器も小学校で習ったハーモニカとリコーダー部しか知りません。だからお嬢様も同じだろうと決めつけていました。
Kanon hadn't been consciously looking down on Jessica to that degree, but people playing unique instruments were always on the other side of the brown tubes of the TV. He had gone into his head that it would be impossible for Jessica at least.
僕は家具だから歌を歌う必要、楽器を扱う必要もないと信じてい
Yeah,
ました。
furniture can't play instruments.
You mean you've never seen a chair band?
I have not. But I'm not sure anymore.
その家具だからって口癖。本当に嘘ぜ。使用人の心得ってやつだろ。
No, I'm actually a cherry, you see, Jessica. You just don't know. But,
It's just a lot of makeup.
You can sit on me any day.
Oh my god.
Woo!
That was a good one. That was a good one. I'll give that to you.
心得というわけでは本当に家具ですし。
福音の家の子たちもいろいろ小さなから援助をもらってるっていうのは知ってるし、それに恩義を感じてるのも知ってる。
だからって家具なんて言い方はあんまりだぜ。
Well, if I can't call myself furniture, what do I call myself?
私たちは同じ人間じゃない。
I guess maybe I am.
カノン君は
Can you hear okay?
私が歌って
Okay,
るの
good.
Indeed.
とても楽しそうに見えました。それは多分違う。え？楽しそうに見えたんじゃない。羨ましかったんじゃない。そんなことは。
Even Kanon himself probably hadn't noticed that emotion. Kanon had seen something he'd never seen before, never known it before, and probably became jealous. And tried to trick himself about the emotion. He had called himself furniture over and over.
私は後ろ宮家の後継ぎだかなんだかだそうで、まあそのいろいろな面倒がこれからもあると思う。それについては運のない星の下に生まれちまったと諦めるしかないさ。多分カノン君の福音の家で生活しなければならなかったのと同じに、私たち自身の報酬もない生まれる星は選べなかった。そうかもしれません。ただ私とカノン君では大きく違うところが1点ある。わかる？
I'm furniture and you are not. He was about to say that, but stopped.
わかりません。カノン君は自らの運命が自分の全てだと思って諦めた。私はこんな運命だから後ろ宮家のお嬢様をやらなければならない窮屈な自分と自分の好きなことに精一杯な自分というもう一人を作る。もう一人のカノン君は自分のことを家具だからと言い聞かせてきた。そう言い聞かせなきゃならない辛いことがきっとたくさんあったんだと思う。それについては本当に気の毒だと思う。でもそれだけでカノン君の人生を全て決めちゃうなんて、私はそんなの悲しいと思うんだよ。人はさ、自分の中に自分が本当に好きになれるもう一人の自分をいつでも作り出すことができるんだよ。現実逃避とかとは違うぜ。そのもう一人の自分でいるとき、私は最高に生きているって実感できる。だから普段の日常がどんなに窮屈で退屈でも、私はきっと窒息せずに生きていけるって。自分の中に自分が本当に好きになれる自分を作る。
To make another me, which isn't furniture, though her relationship with George-sama is Shannon giving birth to a part of herself that isn't furniture?
You could say that.
And did this other Shannon see something that cannot be seen by furniture?
カノン君のプライベート全然知らないぜ。なんだか想像できる。カノン君のプライベートには
Yeah.
Kanon couldn't reply, but that answer was enough. He had no concept of a private life, so Kanon would always be Kanon, so furniture would always be furniture.
Oh, this is getting real personal.
The Gospel House gave new students and new families a new life, so it also made a point of giving each of them a new name. In his case, that was Kanon.
確かに僕のこの名は仮のものかもしれません。
He had thought that he wasn't anyone other than Kanon, but he remembered there definitely had been a part of himself that wasn't Kanon, but that was far, far away beyond the distant fog of oblivion.
カノン君もカノン君がある時とそうでない時に違う自分がいてもいいはず。使用人である時のカノン君は自らを家具と呼び厳しく自己を戒めてるかもしれない。でもカノン君じゃない時の自分はもっともっと自由に生きていいと思うんだ。
Those words definitely weren't just lip service. Jessica had always been like this in the past. She had cursed her own birth into an environment different from all her friends at school. She had been the only one in a heavily constricted environment, forced to learn various things, and she had even received words about the friends she played with. Though she'd been sad about that, she'd given up thinking that she had just been born under that kind of star. But one day, Jessica had stopped giving up and surrendering. Stuff like those sharing with family customs and pressure, those didn't matter. She created a real Jessica inside herself, who do what she really wanted to do.
She created a real Jessica.
学校では女子ってあるわけだからさ、女子であるときは自分に思いっきり素直に生きてる。だからこそジェシカであるときも頑張れるんだ。カノン君にもカノンであるとき、カノンじゃなくて本名であるとき違う生き方をしてもいいんじゃないかな。カノンじゃなくて自分を好きになれる自分になってみてもいいんじゃないか。
僕がカノンじゃないとき、
He had thought that his real name didn't matter at all, so he thought Kanon was all he was. And now Jessica was saying that he should create a new existence, another self that wasn't Kanon.
Is it canon? Is this all canon?
What?
Or is this non-canon?
What do you mean? Oh, is it canon or not canon? Oh, it's the fake story. It's fake.
It's not canon.
It's not canon. Oh, he was silent for quite some time. Maybe his real name had risen to the tip of his tongue. After hesitating for a long time over whether he should say it.
Say it!
In the end, he swallowed it back.
Oh, come on.
忘れました。僕の名前など。
Bullshit. You
Those
forgot.
words signified a slight
僕
rejection.
が本当は今ここにカノンとしてあることだけが現実です。
He forgot his own name.
He didn't forget, he just doesn't want to say
He
it.
forgot his own name. This is just an excuse. He doesn't know who he is. Oh, damn it. What is my name again? I don't know. How do I remember my name?
He has amnesia.
My name's Forrest, goddammit.
Forrest Cannon.
過去など何の関係もない。
My mama always told me that witches don't exist.
But she was right, because they don't exist.
作られた家具の材料が
You're always gonna go back to that, aren't you?
The name of the tree whose trunk a piece of furniture was a what?
だからよ、
Yeah, but we don't name trees, though.
家具じゃないんだぞ。君は人間だぜ。
I named a tree a
僕は
spruce
人間
tree.
じゃない。
Or an oak tree. What? Canon, why are you not a human? Are you an alien? What are you saying? Why are you yelling?
He's an inanimate object, apparently.
He's an inanimate object. Why?
Because he's furniture. Because he's... What did we decide he is? Is he a table? Or like a... Is he the chair?
He
Or was
says,
Shannon the chair?
well, he said he didn't have blank, 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 and we said that was love. He says he doesn't have love, so because he doesn't have love, he's not human.
Apparently. I guess that's the thought process.
Kanon clearly spoke his funeral. I mean, refusal.
His funeral.
It was with the rage that he didn't normally show. Jessica couldn't say anything back and was struck silent.
お嬢様は人間です。
But I'm not.
だからどんな生き方をしようとも自由で、どんな未来も可能性もある。それはまるで翼を持ち、自在に空を舞う鳥のよう。
Sorry guys, I'm real sorry, but I was just speaking a northeastern accent the entire time. I'm actually from Kentucky.
We're, yeah, I'm actually out of Georgia.
Well, we're some real southern boys here.
僕がたとえ鳥に見えたとしても、アヒルに過ぎない。アヒルに翼はあっても、飛ぶことはできない。
I'm like a bird, I can wanna fly away.
Go birds!
語るなんて、そんなのは残酷すぎる。
I'm sorry.
家具だのアヒルだの。なんだってんだよ一体。
It's a bunch of quackery, if I might say so myself.
I think you're right in saying that.
Jessica had unconsciously gone along with Kanon's forceful manner of speaking. Well, look at his face, oh my god. But she realized she shouldn't fire back and swallowed her words.
He's a real angry boy, that is.
君のことを思考たちも知らないし、その苦労も知らない。
Because you're talking to a ghost here. I keep saying I'm not human, and it's because I'm actually a ghost.
Aren't we all?
それがどうして自分の家具だの。
What? Am I already dead?
We're all ghosts.
Oh no.
This is the Sixth Sense, brother. I see dead people.
You see dead people?
I do.
Oh, okay.
君は家具でもアヒルでもない。ちゃんとした人間だぜ。使用人としての彼女に家具だと言うのはそれでもいいよ。俺ら カノン君は家具でない時も人間の時の自分を作ってもいいとは思わない。
そんな可能性を抱けるのは僕はそうじゃない。僕には未来も可能性も見るべき夢もない。だからお嬢様、それ以上残酷なことを言わないでください。
Why are you
お嬢
saying
様が僕のことをご自分と同じ人間だと勘違いなされてい
Wow,
るよう
he
な
is
のです。
really indoctrinated.
僕とお嬢様は違う存在、それをはっきり申し上げておきたかったので。シャノンに聞きました。お嬢様は僕のことをお気に入りになられていると。
Shannon, what are you doing?
Oh, what has she done?
あ、いや、
僕は人間に限りなく近い姿をしています。だからシャノンのように自分を人間だと錯覚して一時恋愛の真似事をすることもできるかもしれない。
You know, we're all just joking about him, joking or not being serious about not being a human, but what if he's actually not a human? What if he's a cyborg?
I was just thinking that. What if
could be
he's
a robot.
like a legit chair or like a stool
He's a stool?
in disguise? And one of these days, towards the end of the visual novel, he's just gonna be a chair. And we're gonna laugh our asses off.
I don't think that's very likely.
でも
You never know.
それは自分を騙したのに違い、いえお嬢様を騙すことにもなるのです。シャノンとジョージ様必ず破綻する。
Oh,
その日が訪れることシャノンだって理解
That's
し
a
ているだ
rough
ろう。
one right there.
oh yeah.
Amen, brother.
バカだってことはないだろ。そりゃジョージ兄さんは立派な人だし、両親の期待も背負ってる。確かに結婚とかになればエヴァおばさんがいろいろと口出しをしてくるだろうし、まあそのでもな、ジョージ兄さんはそんなのに屈する人じゃねえ。シャノンをジュリエットになんかしねえぜ。きっと幸せにしてくれる。
人は家具と恋などできない。お嬢様が家具を愛することができても僕にお嬢様を愛することができないと。
That sucks.
Those words of Kanon's crushed all Jessica's bittersweet feelings from today. There was no way she could have anticipated the emotions of such a blunt rejection. In an instant, she lost the willpower that caused her to try and unravel something stubborn inside Kanon's heart. And before she knew it, she was just standing there in shock.
お嬢様が僕を好かれているという気持ちが僕の思い上がりによるものならどうかお許しください。
ごめんなさい。
そこはしません。
ありがとうございます。
Oh, that's not good.
That's rough.
僕を人間だと思ってくれてありがとうございます。そのお気持ちだけで僕は本当に嬉しいです。そしてそれ以上はい
や、もう十分だぜ。それは悪かったな。
Jessica scratched at her head as she spoke and tried to force her voice to sound bright.
私一人がいろいろ先走っちゃって迷惑かけて、正直
Oh, she's crying.
貴重な休みを一日振り回しちゃって。
Oh no.
僕も楽しそうなお嬢様が見られて嬉しかったです。
じゃあ今夜はこれで
Oh, Jessica, no.
私も部屋に戻って消灯しないとまた母さんに怒られちまうよ。
Poor girl.
そうされた方がよろしいでしょう。おやすみなさいませ。
Jessica turned her back to him and slowly tried to away, looking disheartened. But suddenly she started dashing pell-mell and disappeared in the direction of the mansion. As he watched her go just for an instant, Kanon was tormented by the feeling that he had just made a huge mistake. But no, he thought, this had not been a mistake at all. It was for her sake he'd been forced to refuse her for now, while her pain was still at its smallest.
女を泣かせるとは
Ah!
なかなかやるではないか。
Oh, Beatrice.
Oh, Beatrice!
お前がそこまで拒絶するとは意外であった。 通に受け答えしていれば、わらわの魔法で2組目の恋人たちが生まれていたものを。
いつからそこに。
Dude.
最低なやつだな。
When he turned around, the witch was suddenly there. It looked like she'd been there the whole time enjoying their performance as if it were play.
わらわへの暴言は愉快なる見せ物に免じて特別に許す。男と女のこじれ合いに勝る見せ物は1000年を経ても存在せぬな。わらわにとっては何よりも甘美なと。
She likes romance anime.
Kanon pulled that butterfly brooch out of his pocket. It was the crystallization of the great magic that the witch had bestowed. Oh no, what is he doing?
You just throw it?
Without hesitation, Kanon flung it hard onto the ground and stomped onto
dude!
it. Beatrice isn't gonna like that, Kanon.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Oh.
わらわの与えたものと知りつつ、それは何を言い
Because
ます
fuck you, Beatrice.
Basically.
今理解した。
You're fake, and I've been hallucinating this whole time.
キューピッドってシャレたものじゃない。
Pretty much.
お前は結ばれぬ者たちに恋を見せてたぶらかして楽しんでいるだけの悪魔だ。
Oh. He might have a point there.
そう思うも自由。わらわが力を貸した人間の多くはお前と同じようなことを口にする。
ほうけるな。お前はシャノンの哀れんで力を貸したんじゃない。
Then why did I lay enchant my power?
恋に胸を焦がすシャノンの心の隙をついて自分を封じていた鏡を割らせた。しかもそれだけじゃない。
That's
そ
not
の
all.
末路まで想像がついていてもてあそんでいる。違うか。
She's not denying it. But
No.
she's fake. He's imagining this.
家具とは
It's all in her
つくづく
head.
哀れな
Or in
存
his
在
head.
夢も
Is he
未来も
Mr. Brightside? It's all in his head.
Is he coming out of his cage and doing just fine?
I don't think he's doing really fine right now.
Is he gotta be down because he wants it all? It started out with a witch. How did it end up like
It
this?
started out with a witch. How did it end up like this?
ジェシカの心にはお前が察する通りそなたはそれにハサミを入れ刈り取ったつもりでいる。だが木は勝手に茂らせたものより枝を間引き剪定したものの方が太い枝をつけるというぞ。家具に恋する娘か。面白いぞ、実に面白い。シャーノンとジョージもやがては結ばれ得る恋に行き詰まりわらわ好みの大きな果実を実らせるだろう。しかしいかんせんあの二人はうまくいきすぎていて面白くなくてな。そこへ行くとお前たちは大いにわらわを楽しませてくれそうだぞ。
The witch laughed. Even though she had known the other two could not be joined, she let magic join them together. Yeah, really couldn't escape their fate and made it impossible for them to be joined. The witch knew that, even if they were joined, the relationships of Shen and George, Kanon and Jessica would fail for certain. As they wandered through this eternal desert in the hell of love, they would be tormented by eternal thirst.
わらわがその力を対価なく貸すことがあるとでも恋に手は貸す。その対価はやがて必ず訪れる二人への過酷な運命の鑑賞料としていただくわけよ。